That's it.
Okay.
Rafa, how are you looking injury-wise ahead of this one?
To be fair, quite good. We have just a legend that is a long-term injury. The other players have been training, and all of them, they are available.
You didn't risk Shelby last week. Is he in a better position to come in and start?
Yeah, he was training, and we knew that he was injured, so it was a question of, because he's so positive, he wants to play every game. We needed to be careful, because to put him on the pitch could be fine, but maybe shooting in a sprint, he could be injured and could be worse for us for the rest of the season. So now has been training. So what I said before, everybody's fine and ready.
And sorry, just a word on Lascelles. He obviously came off at half time. Was it more precautionary?
Yeah, he was complaining about his ankle, and then he missed a couple of training sessions, but has been training the last day, so he's fine.
You've got this long run of games against big teams out the way now. I know Manchester United are still to come, but you've got those 4 out the way now. Is there a pressure that's better now to try and get this first win of the season?
Yeah, I think that every game is an opportunity to get 3 points for us, but obviously watching these games on paper was quite difficult. I think we did quite well in some of these games, but on paper was quite difficult. Now on paper it seems like, these games are easier, but it's not the case for us in the Premier League. So with the team that we have, every single game for us is a challenge and very difficult, and to play against Crystal Palace away will be difficult for us, but still we have confidence that we can get 3 points.
You've said to us a number of times the crucial thing was to keep confidence levels high despite playing the teams at the top of the table. You obviously lost the 4, but each one by 2 goals to 1. Is confidence still high despite the fact you've lost the 4?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's very clear that the team, the way that they work, the way that they train every day, they have confidence that we can start winning right now. Football, you never know, but the confidence is high. The team is mentally ready, and hopefully we can see this Saturday.
Wilfried Zaha said last week that it would take for his leg to be broken until someone is sent off for a tackle on him. Are you concerned? Are you worried that those comments might have any influence at all on the referee tomorrow?
I'm surprised, because normally the FA deal with these comments, but I have a lot of confidence in Ander Marriner, so he has experience, even if his record with our players is not the best in terms of red cards, but I'm quite confident he's a very good referee with experience, and he will deal with the situation in a normal way.
Does what Wilfried said, does that change the way you'll deal with him or attempt to deal with him tomorrow?
No, really. No, I think sure. He's a good player, no doubt about that. But I think the FA has to deal with these comments, and I'm sure that Andy Marriner will not have this in the back of his head.
So you said that the FA should deal with the comments. Do you think the comments were wrong?
I don't know. We cannot talk too much about referees during the game. You cannot ask for yellow cards or things like that. So it's not our job to do that.
On a different topic, a very sad one, Rafa, if you don't mind me asking. I know you gave Stephen Darby his debut for Liverpool. Some very sad news this week. How do you reflect on that?
I sent a message, and I didn't want to talk too much about that because it has been in the media for some days. So as a professional, as a lad, he was amazing. So when he was with us, he was really, really good. And the way that he behaved normally, I think exactly the same. And then I would like to see him and then support him in any way. So he's so good as a lad. And to be fair, I was talking with Richie. We didn't know, and was talking with Richie the day before how good he was. So we were talking about that.
With Matt Ritchie?
Yeah, with Matt Ritchie. And the day after, we were surprised with the news. So again, I would say I wish him all the best because he deserved that. But not anyone. So for anyone will be the same. But for him, especially for him, he was so good as a lad, as a professional. The time that he was with us, and Richie was telling me exactly the same later on. So I think someone that we don't need to talk too much because he's very positive. He's a fighter. I think the wife is exactly the same, so they will go through in the best way possible.
Thanks, Rafa. Appreciate that.
Cheers.
Rafa, you say that you won't change your approach to Wilfried Zaha after his comments, and you're hopeful the referee won't either. Do you have any concern that it might get in the heads of your players a little bit, just in the moment, if they're going in for a tackle, whether the referee might interpret it in a certain way?
No chance. So the way that he plays, normally he will receive more tackles than other players because he likes to run against players. He has the pace, he has the ability, so he's a great player. But I don't think it will make any difference for our players, but especially for the referee.
Do you think the point he made was fair, or not really?
You can get maybe 20 players in any competition talking about the same things if they want. So player with pace and ability, normally they are exposed to these things, and it's the job of the referees to protect them and to protect anyone during the game. So I think it's something that we cannot change, and I don't think that the referees will be worried about these comments. But obviously, what I said before, when we talk about you cannot ask for a yellow card during a game, so ask for red cards before the games. It's not. It's something that we cannot control, but maybe someone else will make a point.
Obviously, he's such a key player for Crystal Palace, and the stats bear that out. I'm just interested to know, when you face a side that clearly has such a standout player, how do you go about preparing your players to face him? Obviously, you can't just focus on him, but how do you divvy up that responsibility in terms of focus on Zaha and focus on the rest of the team?
You think about a few weeks ago, we were playing against Chelsea or Manchester City, and they don't have just one, they have 11. Every time, then you have to control all of them. It's a normal situation for us. When you have a player that is left-footed, right-footed, good in the air, or pace or ability, you adjust little things. But in this case, so we know the player. Our players, they know him. Just deal with him in the same way that we will do it with another player in another team. That will be good.
And normally the atmosphere at Selhurst Park is really combative and difficult for away teams. There has been a disruption, as it were, between a group of Crystal Palace supporters and the club, a disagreement that has affected the atmosphere for them a bit this season at home. Will that play into your hands a little bit? Can you draw on that?
You never know. I hope so. So if we do what we have to do, if we play well, if we control the game, it will be more difficult for them to cheer and support the team. So if they play well and they create chances, the fans will be behind their team. So I think it's our job is to do our job in defence well and attack and then create chances, and then they will be calm and relaxed.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Rafa, you talked about a team like Chelsea with probably 11 star players on the pitch. With a team like Palace and Wilfried Zaha, who they're outstanding player, can clubs be sucked into sort of just worrying about one player, and if you nullify him, then job done?
No, don't forget that we had Townsend here, and he was a good player too, and they pay big money for Benteke in the past. So they have Ayew now as a striker, so they have some very good players in attack. So you cannot be worried just about one. You have to be sure that no one has a chance, and then that is the only way to deal with that.
Keith talked about the pressure building up when you haven't won a game yet. I mean, a point would normally be a pretty good result at Crystal Palace, but is there perhaps more pressure on getting the win and being a bit more adventurous away from home?
We want to win. Obviously, we want to get 3 points in every game, but especially after these first games against the top sides, you know that you can be a little bit closer of these teams. Doesn't mean that it's easy, but at least a little bit closer. So if you do well, you have more chances to win. Then you try to win. If you cannot win, obviously a draw is not bad. But our idea is to go there trying to get 3 points. That's it.
There were some newspaper reports this week that you and Lee Charnley and one or two members of the recruitment department are going to be having a sort of club meeting, but recruitment being one of the things, and future recruitment one of the things you're going to be discussing. Can you shed any light on that?
Yeah, I was talking with Steve Nixon, the head of recruitment, this morning, just talking about that. It's something that we do at the end of the transfer window, and we talk what we have and which is the idea for the next window, and after we will see we have some money.
Because presumably you're already starting to think of January, you have to.
Yeah, you have to think about January. We did about August, and we did about January, and we did about August, and we did about January, but still we are where we are. Sure. But we will try to do the same this year.
And any early signs of optimism that January might be more satisfactory than August?
Always you have to be optimistic and realistic. Cheers. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, Rafa.
Thank
Cheers.